The world has changed more in the last 4 years than in the previous 30. Wars rage, democracies falter, and the international order we grew up with, it's dying. From Russia's assault on Ukraine, to Middle Eastern flashpoints, to African conflicts shoved out of the headlines, crises are rising everywhere. The post-Cold War dream that trade and technology would unite humanity, it has flipped. Those forces now pull the world apart. We live in a new era, one defined not by order but by disorder. The liberal, rules-based system built after World War II is fading. Countries no longer rely on global institutions. They rely on deals, shortcuts, and power plays. Multilateral cooperation is giving way to multipolar competition. But here's the twist. It's not just Washington and Beijing shaping the next era. Middle powers, Brazil, India, Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, now have the economic weight to tilt the world towards stability or chaos. A three-way contest is emerging: the global West, the global East, and the global South. And the South, surprisingly, holds the swing vote. The next 5 to 10 years will define the world order for decades. If the West doesn't change, if it relies on monologues, double standards, or dominance, the system collapses. If cooperation fails, conflict becomes the default. In 1989, the world believed it had reached the end of history. Democracy and markets seemed unstoppable. But then came 9/11, the Iraq War, the 2008 financial crash, China's rise, Russia's revival, and the dream of global unity vanished. Multilateralism means rules and equality. Multipolarity means power blocks and opportunistic deals. One brings order, the other brings unpredictability. Finland, small, exposed, and bordering an imperial giant, learned that survival requires both values and realism. During the Cold War, it had to compromise to stay independent. After Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Finland joined NATO, not out of ideology, but necessity. This approach, values-based realism, may be exactly what the world needs. The world now revolves around three spheres: the global West, democracies tied to a rules-based order; the global East, China-led challengers seeking a revised order; the global South, 125 countries holding the world's decisive vote. The West cannot win the South with slogans about democracy. The East cannot buy loyalty with infrastructure. The South stands on its own ground and will shape the future. Only the third path avoids global breakdown. To rebuild the world order, reforms must be bold. Permanent UN Security Council seats for Africa and Latin America, end to single-state veto power, suspension of any member violating the UN Charter, revamped WTO rules that actually work, stronger, more representative global institutions. Will the United States rejoin the multilateral world it once built? Will China fill the vacuum or challenge the system entirely? These choices will determine whether the coming decades resemble Yalta or Helsinki. The world stands at a turning point not unlike 1918, 1945, or 1989. If nations cling to dominance, we fall backward into chaos. If they embrace values with realism and cooperation with equality, a better world is still possible.